People, hello, how are you? Hopefully we're all doing well. I'm Tom. Boxing is full of underdog stories. It's littered with upsets. And no matter how much we think we know about boxing, no matter what the odds are and the predictions are, when people step inside that ring over the course of 12 rounds, we have no idea what is going to happen. And we are constantly reminded of that. But that's why we love the sport. These upsets, these underdog stories, it's part and parcel of boxing. Like I say, it's why we love the sport. The essence of an underdog story is the David and Goliath story, an underdog versus a giant, and it comes in many different formats. Fighters getting overlooked, champions getting too comfortable, maybe just fighters not getting rated highly enough. So many times you see fighters that are really, really good, just getting plain and simply underrated, not getting rated for how good they really, really are. Maybe it's just lucky punches getting caught, whatever it is. No matter how much we think we know, no matter what we analyse, no matter how many stats we look at, when it comes down to a 12-round fight, we know not very little, probably a bit harsh, but anything can happen is what I'm trying to say. So let's look at some of these today, starting with Muhammad Ali versus Sunny Liston in 1964. This was meant to be a blowout. Liston was a heavy favourite going into this. Many actually predicted an early KO victory. Now, as we know, Ali came out victorious, and this proved to be a turning point in his career. Then, scoring a rematch win as well. Of course, the talking point here, other than the fact Ali won, is Liston's connection to the mafia. This makes many people think, including myself, did he throw this fight? Could there have been more to this? Could he have beaten Ali if he really, really tried? Do you know what I mean? So many questions. Ultimately, questions we're never going to get the answer to. But I think even Muhammad Ali himself believed Sunny Liston through that fight. That's why the famous photo of him stood over Sunny Liston, he's admitted it wasn't even him kind of showboating or bragging. He was actually saying, get up. He's calling him a coward, saying, get up. Most people believe, well, I say most people, a lot of people believe that he threw that fight because of his connection to the mafia. Not for me to say, but that's an underdog story. Another classic example is the 2002 matchup between Lennox Lewis and Hasim Rahman. Now, I have covered this before, so I'll briefly go over it again. Lewis was the heavy favourite in this, but of course, Rahman won, as we know. These two fights changed the outlook on how people predicted fights going forward. It wasn't always about who has the heavier hands, who's the harder hitter. Boxing isn't about how hard you can hit. It's also about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. It's also about how well you can not get hit, how well you can box and move. Look at the likes of Usyk today. And this is what changed that. These two fights drastically changed that outlook. Now, of course, Lennox Lewis did go on to rematch Hasim Rahman and did go on to beat him. But that's not the point. The point is, he got clipped, he got caught, and he got knocked out. But had he been able to hit and move, that wouldn't have happened. Timothy Bradley versus Manuel Morgs to change the game as well. This was expected to be a very close competitive fight. But Bradley managed to pull off the upset. This highlighted how styles make fights. Styles really do make fights. Sometimes, and I believe this, sometimes styles don't make fights. Sometimes, well, styles will make fight, but sometimes styles don't necessarily dictate the outcome. Sometimes you see with fighters like Usyk, someone like a Tyson Fury should be able to handily beat him. A bigger guy coming forward, walking you down. That style should be kind of Usyk's kryptonite. The issue is, when it comes to boxing, sometimes the better boxer will just win. Even though you might have the perfect style to beat him, you're just not good enough. He's just a step and a level above you. And that shows, that really does go to show. So people say styles make fights. Styles do make fights, but styles don't always dictate the outcome. And that's what this showed. Where there was an upset, where the style should have made the fight, actually sometimes just the better boxing style, the better boxer's IQ will come out on top. And like I say, we've seen it again, Usyk versus Fury. Fury has the better style. Fury has the upper hand, the size advantage, the weight advantage, all of the advantages. The reach advantage was astronomical. But sometimes the better boxer with the better boxing IQ, even if he's fighting somebody with the perfect style to beat him, will come out on top. It's just the nature of boxing, and that's what this fight highlighted, that actually styles make fights, but styles don't make outcomes. But of course, of all the upsets in boxing history, nothing quite changed the game like Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas did. That, if I said to you upsets, if I said to you boxing history, boxing changing the game, that was it. It changed everything. Boxing at that time changed as you know it when Mike Tyson lost that fight. It's the biggest upset in history, and there's a reason for that, because it changed history. What should have been an easy night's work for Mike Tyson proved to be the undoing, the absolute shattering of his invincible image. Tyson took the fight extremely lightly, very lightly. Buster Douglas, however, took the fight as if it was the fight of his life, because it was. Buster Douglas's mum had also recently passed away. Buster Douglas went into this fight saying he's going to win it, promised his mum he's going to win it. Mike Tyson went into this fight thinking he was going to win, easy touch, easy money, on to the next. Buster went on to knock Mike out, whilst also being ahead on the scorecards at the point of the fight's end. This ended the view that Mike Tyson was simply untouchable and unbeatable. It sent a real shockwave around the entire globe, both in boxing and out of it. This showed the world how important it is to take every single fight with the utmost importance, no matter who you are or how good you are, or no matter who they are or how bad they are. Boxing, as I said at the start, anything can happen. And this showed that. If you take anything not seriously, anything can happen. And that's what happened. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And self-belief goes a long way. We saw that in action on that night. Mike Tyson's failure to prepare was preparing to fail. And Buster Douglas' self-belief, that promise he made, the fact he prepared as if it was the fight of his life, took him to what was the biggest victory of his career, perhaps one of the biggest victories in all of boxing's history. It went on to be the undoing of Mike Tyson and the making of Buster Douglas. It really did shape heavyweight boxing and boxing. Whether you're the greatest heavyweight to have ever lived, and you're fighting somebody who just walked out the pub, it doesn't matter. You need to take everything seriously. The changes these made in the timeline of boxing are a reminder of the power that boxing has to surprise and delight, keeping us on the edge of our chairs constantly. The drama, the excitement, the unpredictability of boxing is unique and irreplaceable. If you look more recently, you can look at things like Fury versus Ngannou. This is another fight where Fury, the heavyweight champion of the world, should have walked over Ngannou, takes it extremely lightly. Ngannou takes it like the fight of his life, his first ever boxing fight, goes in there, knocks Fury down, and takes him to a controversial points decision loss, where Ngannou lost. That shows again, self-belief, failure to prepare, these things, you need to take every fight as if it's your last. I don't care how good you are or how bad they are, everything needs to be taken 100% seriously. You can look at the Tim Tszyu fight more recently, again, losing. Boxing is an amazing sport, and sometimes heavy favourites down to popularity, or just maybe their championship reign, whatever it is, only speaks for a certain amount. No matter what we analyse, how much we think we know, what it comes down to is actually we don't know what can happen. We don't know as much as we think we know. Anything can happen over the course of a 12-round championship fight. People, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this video in the comment section down below. Let me know some fights I might have missed that you think shaped boxing history. You know, there's a lot out there. The first ever Mexican heavyweight champion in Andy Ruiz. Usyk versus Fury, the first ever, it's the first ever undefeated heavyweight champion in the 5-bout, 4-bout era. Another cruiserweight coming up. You let me know your thoughts, people. Let me know what I missed. Let me know your thoughts, how I can improve these videos. I look forward to reading it in the comment section down below. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, people. You know how YouTube works. Peace.